You've got a bunch of burning health questions, and I'm finding out the answers. Coming up next.
Hey, Dr. Oz. I read that they're putting cancer warning labels on coffee in places like in California. Once and for all, how worried am I supposed to be about my daily coffee intake? Because I always thought coffee was healthy.
It's the biggest coffee controversy that's boiling over. Could coffee cause cancer? Nutritionist Rachel Beller is back along with coffee expert Dr. Bob Arnott. They're joining me to investigate. Guys, grab your coffee. Let's head out to talk to the audience about coffee. So we're enjoying our coffee, but you're not 100% sure we should be. So, Rachel, you're from California, and so you've been living in a state where there are now signs, let me show this to you, signs in the coffee shops warning people about coffee and cancer. Right? This is a pretty, it's an imposing warning sign. What is it in coffee that's raising fears?
So it's acrylamide, which is formed when you're roasting the coffee beans, and the deeper the roast, the more acrylamide gets formed. The thing that's interesting is that something like a potato chip or French fries has 40 to 60 times the acrylamide than our cup of coffee. So it's like a needle in a haystack. As a dietitian, I am not worried about it.
But the signs that I just showed are only on coffee shops. They're not putting them on French fries or potato chip bags.
That is correct. In California, the signs are up.
Bob, your take on coffee and its dangers, specifically with regard to cancer?
Well, Richard said, 300 micrograms in a chip, 7 in a cup of coffee, doesn't seem like much. But, the really good environmental chemists are going, well, it's a liquid, could concentrate. Maybe you said there's something there. And it is what's called a developing carcinogen. They're looking, they're testing, so there's no kind of final answer. But the World Health Organization, used to list it as a potential carcinogen. They've given it a clean bill of health, may prevent up to 2 cancers, and scientific reports has 105 prospective studies saying that it may prevent everything from prostate to colon cancer. Oh my goodness. So all I would say is, to be safe, the smartest thing to do is drink a low acrylamide coffee. As Rachel said so well, the lighter roasts have less in it. That seems to make the most sense, but I don't worry about it. All
right, we've got 2 experts here who are not worried about it. In fact, they're giving thumbs up to your daily cup of joe. They're not worried about coffee and cancer. Are you all happy about that? They complain I take away their favorite foods. I get it all the time. So next question, what are the actual benefits of coffee? Because I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't react well to it. As a surgeon, it's the worst thing to have coffee before you head into the operating room. Big problem, because you can't leave the OR to take care of number 1 and number 2.
That's right.
So I never drank coffee. Plus, it looks bad when you stay in your white jacket. but there are studies every day brewing about these benefits. Yes. Let's go through these. Bob, walk us through the strongest reasons to drink coffee. The first is to prevent the risk of death, maybe including cancer.
So the interesting thing is that coffee used to be a marker for bad behavior. People that ate too much red meat, they smoked, they drank too much alcohol, they didn't exercise, they didn't have any vegetables in their diet. It seemed like it was a marker for bad behavior, but these giant studies, 5 million consumer years, showed a staggering 15% decrease in all-cause death for women, 10% for men. And, there's nothing else like this in the American diet, no food or new beverage that gives you that staggering degree of decrease in death.
Okay, how about brain protection? And I bring it up because it's the #1 question that especially older Americans have, fear of dementia.
So the interesting thing, we actually did a study at the North Carolina Research Campus with Dave Neiman, and we showed a big boost in mood. And we think that's because it decreases brain inflammation. Good studies on depression out of the Harvard School of Public Health. There's a 20% decrease in the risk of depression among women, drinking 4 more cups of coffee a day. Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, also
is it because
stress.
It's making you alert enough to deal with stress better and keep active intellectually? Why does it work?
So the interesting thing with the Alzheimer's, it may prevent all those kind of, things getting onto the nerve endings there, but they think it's basically a decrease in inflammation. Now remember, no one has done big prospective trials proving this is a medication. It's just an observation, but it's a good one. And depression, fantastic.
Well, if you can reduce inflammation, which is the root cause of so many problems, I'm in. Let's head over to our coffee bar for the next coffee question we can settle right now, right here. How many cups of coffee a day is the right amount to drink for the health benefits? Bob, since you've articulated quite nicely that you're passionately in favor of drinking some, how much should we drink?
New England Journal of Medicine, men 5 to 6 cups of coffee a day. Harvard School of Public Health, I know, trust me.
5 to 6 cups
trust
of coffee?
me. Women, 4 cups of coffee a day, 20% decrease in the risk of depression. But if you are like you and me and 45% of the population, you take that much coffee, you're going to have a SWAT team following you down the highway, right? Anxiety, wreck your sleep, ruin your operation, right? And it could actually be bad for you because your blood pressure may go up. So the bottom line is, if you think you're sensitive to caffeine, you can get away with just 1 or 2 cups of super high polyphenol coffee. We've gotten up to 1,000 milligrams in a cup versus 150 for a lesser coffee. That's a great workaround. The other good workaround is a really high quality, say, Ethiopian or Mexican decaf that has all the polyphenols. And the polyphenols, that's the secret ingredient. That's what causes the decrease in inflammation. So you can get it. Lastly, that big New England Journal study, it didn't say caffeinated coffee, it just said coffee. So take it either way.
All right, so again, 2 cups of caffeinated coffee, or if you're sensitive, you can have, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 cups of decaffeinated coffee without getting symptoms. But what you care about is the fact that you're having some coffee. Okay, you've got a little hack, Rachel. A lot of times people are adding too much sugar to their coffee. It's the sugar and the cream that mess the coffee up, guys. So how do we get away without adding on those things, but adding in some healthy ones instead?
So I treat myself a couple times a week to what I call a Turkish latte. I'm also a little sensitive like you, and you've got some of that Turkish in you. So
Healthiest coffee there is the Turkish coffee.
It is.
Sometimes misnamed Greek, but nonetheless.
Rich in polyphenols, which is fantastic. So what you do is you can take a shot or 2 of espresso, put it in a nut milk. I try to avoid dairy when it comes to coffee because it shows that it does decrease the antioxidant value. It does reduce polyphenols. So I use cashew or almond. And then here's something magical. I love to power up my coffee with spice synergy. There is research showing that if you add cinnamon and ginger to coffee, they work in sync and increase the antioxidant value.
Oh my goodness.
It's really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. So what I do is I add some cinnamon, some ginger, some cardamom and clove, and smell it. I mean, I'm really smelling this. This is really good.
This, Rachel, is brilliant.
It's just, you're amping up the nutritional value of what you're drinking, what you're eating, just with the power of spice.
This will be the new morning drink. I'm serious. You think I'm kidding? Rachel's morning Turkish coffee with cinnamon, ginger, and everything else you add. No sugar in this, right?
No. No, you could add a little bit of honey if you want to, but I don't. It's just so good on its own. So cheers to that.
Thanks for enlightening us.
Oh, absolutely.
Thanks, Rachel. Be sure to check out Bob's book, Coffee Lover's Bible. You can tell that he is one. Up next, do you use cooking sprays? What you need to know about what's really in them. Stay with us.